Okay guys, so basically, I'm speaking quite quietly because there's fish really close in the edge. I failed to capture off the bottom, even though they're still there, because I have no leads, but my mum's gone to get them, as I've said. So the fish aren't hooking themselves, so they're just kind of running away, and I've spooked both spots. So I've decided to leave the others, introduce a bit more bait, and try on the top for the fish that are feeding just there that you might be able to see in the back of the shot. So I'll go get some shots of them feeding, and then hopefully get one. So I've got the rod in the water just behind me now, so I thought I'd talk you through the bait while everything's waiting to happen. So here's my stalking mix. It's just in a random pot, don't listen to the label. Now the base of this is hemp, if I can get a few pieces for you. There, you can see it really shining up. Then all I've added is 2 mil krill pellets, some stick mix, just to thicken it up, some of the crushed up dynamite bait sauce boilies. They're really soluble, which is really good, like that, really easy to crush up. What else is here? It's really much a mix and match of stuff. Some crushed hemp and halibut pellets, and then finally the secret ingredient that I'm really hesitant to tell you all, which is hemp oil. I don't know if you ever used it, but it's incredible. Puts off a massive slick, and I really think it makes the big difference between catching and blanking. And then, as you can see here, I've got some mesh bags. What I do with these is I put these with my stick needle. I put these down the main line, down the hook length onto the hook. I dip it all in the hemp oil, and then I just flick it out under a tree. And the bait is half a sauce boilie, tipped off with like a little tiny bit of white pop-up, just to give it that extra fleck of colour. Okay, here he is, guys. Lovely angry male common carp, covered in spawning tubercles of about 11-12 pounds, I'd say, stuck from the margins in a single tiger net rig that I'm going to show you now. Right, so I've just had that fish, and I thought I'd show you through the rig that I'm using. So, here it is. I'll start from the, rod end first, really. I've got about, 10 inches of this, I'm not sure what it is, kind of silicone tubing. You get it from the Corda lead clip action pack. It's really handy, because then you don't have to buy all the components individually. You can just buy one pack, get them all together. So, there, and all that is the silicone tube here, tail rubber, and the lead clip itself, and these all go together, and the swivel actually, and these all go together by first threading on this, then the tail rubber, then the lead clip, then you tie the swivel onto the end of your main line, slide it all down onto it. There, on goes the tail rubber about halfway, so if needs be I can drop the lead, and then get your silicone tubing, and you just slide that into the end of the tail rubber, like that. Okay, so now let's get on to the important bit, the rig. So here's the rig. In all essence, it's just a simple blowback rig. To tie it, the hook link is N-Trap semi-stiff in, I think it's the gravel colour from Corda. This is probably my favourite hook link now, or favourite hook link material now. It's really easy to work with, nice and pliable, but still have enough rigidity to push the bait out. So then I've just tied that in the end with a big loop, and I'll show you why later. Then I have about 5 inches of it, because if you can imagine with a fish feeding actually quite close in on small pieces of food which I'm feeding, it's not going to be moving very far in between each mouthful, so you want a rig that's quite short so that it can, well, come in contact with the lead straight away and bolt, which is the theory at least. Then coming down to the hook, it's a size 6 Nash Fang twister, really super sharp hook, and a really good pattern for the blowback rig. Over the eye then, I've got a little bit of fox shrink tubing, like hardly any, a few mil. I've just kind of put that, I've kind of steamed it down an angle and then pushed it back out, so it's a bit like a mini liner. Just a simple 4-turn knotless knot. Why 4 you ask? Basically because it's my lucky number, within reason really. Then going down the shank a bit, you have a bit of silicone tubing there, right on the bend there, and I'll tell you why I do that when I attach the bait. So, and then I have probably like, I don't know, an inch, just centimetre and a half of hair free. So I'm going to show you the bait now and why I use this silicone there. Huh? Which said better for you. There you go, he's yours to sort out now. Right, so there it is. What would you give that one, Dad?
8 or 9?
8 or 9 pounds. Lovely common carp. Just going to slip him straight back because it's in the warm weather, so as to not damage the fish. Brilliant. I'm going to go introduce some more baits on some different spots, and then I'm going to get my rod back out and hope for another one. I'm just going to do a few laps of the lake now, looking for some not feeding fish, looking for some fish. Okay, just not looking at bait. And if I can find some, I'll introduce some bait. Then on my next lap around, I'll see if any are feeding. I'll fish there. Right, so here's one of the spots I've introduced bait into on my 3rd lap round. And just look down here and it's covered. It's all been stirred up completely by a carp. Is there a tail under the branch? I don't know if you can see it through the camera. I'm pretty sure you can. It's huge. But if not, here you go. Maybe it makes it better if I put my Polaroid over again. Yeah, you can see that now. Oh, yeah. Really being stirred up. So I'm going to throw in a bit more bait, see if I can see some tail swirls. I'm going to put my rig on there, hope for another. Look down there, where I had an earlier, there's another one. Tail swirling like crazy, you can probably just see the tip of his tail. Second fish of the session. Yeah, single tiger. Fang twister hook, and then just under another tree down the bank a bit. Right, so let's slip this fish back before it gets too tired, because it's really warm out in the sun today. I'm going to keep him out for the least time as possible. Right, so you're going to have to excuse my really messy base camp at the moment. Things just seem to have exploded. Right now I'm going to talk you through the hardware that I'm using. Okay, so the rod that I've got, I suppose I'll start with this, is a Yateley Angling Centre custom built CARP Stalking rod. Now it's 9 foot in size. Now this is quite a rare version because obviously it's hand built. I got this for quite a bargain off eBay, 80 quid, but kind of any rod will do, just mainly try and get a specific carp stalker, sort of 2 3/4, 3 pound test curve, because you need quite a backbone to be able to get it out of these snags that you're going to be fishing in. Also the sizes can differ because this is quite an open lake. I'm fine with a 9-footer. But if you're really fishing a really snaggy, small and overgrown venue, I'd recommend a 6-foot rod. The reel here, this is nothing special. This is just a small big pit reel. Ideally, you know, you could have a, what's it called, a free spool bait runner reel. And the line that I've got is 15-pound subline. I've got this in 15 pounds because I'm going to be fishing around snags quite a lot. I want the line to be able to put up with that. Also, I've got the subline because it sinks like a brick. If you want, you can use fluorocarbon, but well, that's really your choice. Just fluorocarbon's a bit expensive, so I just went with subline for this. And then that's about it, really. Just aim for a nice sinking, reliable line, powerful enough rod, and a reel capable of, you know, really being able to crank the fish in, being able to deal with it when you're in these kind of close quarter positions, and a reel that doesn't tangle very easily, because you don't want to be messing around with it, tangling when you're like having carp feeding 2 feet in front of you. So that's what I'm using. Go get yourself a stalking setup. They don't cost very much, so if you'd have to pay tops, kind of 100 quid for one, and they're well worth it. That's a big fish. Those fish feeding, just to explain what's going on here. Dad's fishing under this tree, and he is down there he is, on the camera cord, and I'm up the tree, as you can see from my position, and there's a big one feeding under here, and we're trying to get him to take on film, so I'm going to sit up here until he gets one. I stopped the video by accident. So Dad, what's happened?
No fish.
The line snapped after all that time. I've got pins and needles in both my feet, cuts down my leg. Oh well. pounds. Don't think I'm going to be able to hold him up. Around about 10 pounds on those homemade banoffee wafters. The little mesh bag. Let's put it back. Really tiny, again on the banoffee wafter, near to the island. Just screamed off on the locked up drag. Slipping back, get the rod straight back out. Whoa. There we go, perfect.